Good evening, folks. This is Darth Rabbit 07 coming to you today with another upgrade and revisit of an older figure. Got Siege Omega Supreme holding the SL-63 package that just came in from across the pond. Thanks again to those that were tuning in to watch this, subscribing to my channel, liking it, all this stuff to help the channel continue to grow. We're going to get this guy upgraded, like with his eyes right there and his blaster there on his left arm. And if you look in on it right now, you can see he has yellow light piping, and that's kind of bothered me. So this kit's going to make those turn to baby blues, and it's going to give this a little blast effect without the blast effects. So we're going to get this guy took down to where we can get the upgrade installed, put it back together, and then show it off for all to see. I will put the links to where I got this from on eBay down in the description below there, and they are a reliable shipper of upgrade kits that I have done outside of TF Safari. Highly trustworthy, and they ship pretty fast for it coming across the pond. Thanks again for watching. Let's back this off, and always, practice safe measures when you go to upgrade. Heck, I got some tools to show you real quick. Always keep a pair of snips nearby so you can get into the packaging, along with the knife of exact zero. And when it's not being used, it's always a good practice to make sure that you slide it back into its protective thing. Knife of exact zero, there it is. Exact zero, exacto for those that speak English. And keep an assortment of other goodies along with some paint stuff to, if I mess up the paint and or I do something else, then I got those things ready to go. I've got a file to file down other rough spots. I got a hole punch there with a hole punch board, so if that's ever needed. Got all kinds of screwdrivers in there, all kinds of sizes, and a brush to brush the dust off if it gets to a dusty spot there. Anyway, we'll get this stuff ready to rock and roll, get this guy into shape, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. Apologize for the quick change in scenery. Who knew that we would have to do all that inside Omega Supreme's little cockpit there. I had these like acting as the golden disc for the War for Cybertron trilogy, so I got the golden disc. So the things that I've got to take off and apart here, and I got these loose now, is you got to go and undo these 4 screws here. Let's see. Let me get this up here. Got to undo boom, 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 and boom. So we got to get those 4 screws undone. Once those are undone, then this thing should come right on off, and we're going to get to that step. Thank you so kindly for watching. Once that part's done, we got to get to the other screws that's on the back side of this piece. And so always try to remember where your screws go to which parts when you do these things. One moment, please. Of particular note, be really careful with this part. This is all glued back here, so like you heat this up and then it spreads just enough for you to get this bad boy out to replace it with the other one in that box over there. And inside of that box is another box. So you take that box out, and inside that box, number 63 for the Shockwave Lab pieces, you have the nozzle and the lights and the associated batteries. So there's all the other bits that you get in this kit. One moment, please. And it's really simple how you get this thing open right here is you slide this little piece over and then slide it out, and it reveals the battery compartment and the light component with the clicker on and off. So that's what you're going to do back in the arm to turn it on and off once we get the associated batteries into the hole there. One moment, please. And positive side, negative side. We're going to try this one way, and then we'll try the other. There's the correct configuration. You want the round end going this way, and then when you turn it on, it turns on. Let's get this thing together. Once that piece is in there, just do one more test. Make sure it all turns on and we got good light. And then we're going to stick it back in here very carefully inside of that thing. I'm going to do that off camera as to not hurt it. And to show you form and function still works without it, there's whenever you got it out, and then whenever you go to turn it on, boom, there that is, and you can extend it out. So there you go. That's that piece. We're going to get the screws back in this bad boy. Thanks again for watching. Of another note, and I didn't even notice it until now, and I had to go back and watch my other review. There's an actual cockpit here to where it gives you the right orientation. It should be the outside of the arm. So then when you go to do that, boom, there it is on the outside, guys. So I'm going to get this guy screwed back in together, and then we're going to test run it again. Thanks again. And here's the arm back together. We got form and function going on with the new light up feature. It slides out that way and boom, and then boom, turns it on, and then it's got a little button you got to keep mashing there. So anyway, that's really, really cool that they did this. And if you guys could excuse me, I need to borrow that whole piece there, but the little guy's working on the big guy. So then, anyway, let's get this guy going here. Preface this little bit here with getting this head off of that thing right there. It's no easy feat. You have to do a couple things. You need to heat this up at the hairdryer, just like the hairdryer I got right over there. So I kept it really good and warm, and I slowly kept on inching and inching and inching this stuff right here in the back. And you need to move this little guy up. Move it to 3. Move this little guy up and just keep spreading and spreading. Now I had to take the knife of exact 0 right down here to it and slice right through some pegs in order to get this thing to open up. And as you open it, you want to pull this apart too, but don't yank too hard on this guy here. You don't want to yank too hard, so you just get that thing undone. And mine was not glued. Well, if it was glued, see how it did right there? It heated it up with the hairdryer. So I got that thing loose first, and then I started working on it back here, and I just kept on and kept on with the fingers and this groove right here, and I kept on, and boom. So I got one side to come off, this other side, and so it comes straight out like this, so you don't break it. And then like let that go loose, and then just slide this whole bit right here in the front, right out from underneath the top of that, very carefully, just like I did. And that's what you're left with right here, guys. So then you take this little bit and you want to wiggle this out. And as you do that, lay this off to the side and remove this piece, because this is where the unit is going to go. The batteries need to be oriented inside of this unit right here. And I hope I didn't break it just now. That would suck. So like 3 inches away from getting this done. So we got this thing right here that gives the eyes, and it's got the switch right there. So then like when you go to do it, the batteries need to be oriented like this, and then those are extremely bright LEDs. So it's a little slider that goes back into place of your instead of the light piping right there, you're going to replace it with this guy, just like this, and boom. So slide that like right there, just like so, and then we'll do a little test right here to make sure this works. And look how bright that thing goes. That thing is super bright. So in the future, don't glue your head back, and you got the chance to change the batteries out of this nice little LED fixture here. So then we're going to actually put this stuff back in here inside of his head, just like so. So just kind of fit it in there. Boom, just like that. Then you want to take the yellow piece and put it back over it. And it's got a little lip and nip tuck thing right here. So let me see how that goes right there inside of that. Fits over that, and then down here it's got to go, boom, it's got a little inside piece it's got to go into right there. Once you get all that said and done, take this other piece, slide it up back across the top of it, and kind of gently push it together and fold this back down in here, just like so. I don't know if you can see all that. Boom. Then just double test your, boom. That lights our darkest hour. That gives me the desired effect I wanted when I paid the $150 for it. Other note is that we gotta get it back on these two pegs right here with the two inner side pegs. So just gently, ever so gently, because this is how this goes right here. Boom, see that? So that we have neck joint to a degree. So we're gonna lift this guy up, spread this back part so elegantly and gently. And then we gotta get that over that. And then squeeze once we get it back on there. So get one side, kind of look at it, and then boom, and then bam. So then there's that. And so now we got him all ready to go. And that just looks spectacular, guys. All right, so, and friction's kind of back together after I mean, the nubs are broke, but that's okay. So there's the disclaimer for doing this particular mod. I'm gonna get this guy back up here and we'll get us a full body pose with the rest of the crew there. And that crew does look sharp as they're trying to work on him as hard as they can to get him back into fighting shape. And you'll have two leftover pieces. You'll have the old nozzle and that, and I'll just have them as extra bits in part of the base, kind of like stuff it, some energon and another nose cone. So if you decide to reverse the instructions, just be very careful with the arms when you do so. Let's get him, like I said, back into shape. Thanks for sticking with me this long. The head is not going to be totally apart. I forgot, guys. There is two screws. So you can put that back together, and then it's easily accessible to get in there to change the batteries. You just got to be very careful. You got to do this last bottom part here with this right here in the back, and just keep shimmying, and make sure to make this rubber piece up here in the front. Heat it with a hairdryer, heat the whole thing with a hairdryer, give it loose, and then we'll go from there. Let me get the screws back in, then we'll get this guy together, and it's going to be awesome. For those that are worried, just want to show you that Omega's head is back to ship shape here. Boom, it's on there, it's not going anywhere. Yes, you did cut through some pegs and whatnot, but you got screws that hold it in, so there's two screws to remove to get the batteries changed out. Plus you got a light up feature, boom. That is on and off switchable, removing the light piping. That is just a really, really clever upgrade. All right, let me get this guy back into shape. So here we go. We got Omega Supreme all ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and see how this does here. Just wow, that thing is so incredibly bright. Let's take a closer look at it before we light up the blaster gun there. Let's do a 3. And that is just spectacular. Now let's get that gun going. Now I think that is definitely worth the 150 that initially should have been having all this together. Should have the light up features, the blast effects, and a way to turn them on and off. Let's take a closer look at those guys together. And that just looks great. I just love the way he does right there. This is a mod that's not for the faint of heart. I do recommend somebody with some skill attempt this versus a rookie that's never done any mods before. You will, like I said, cut through and bust those with the exact 0 on the head and a couple of the pieces right here in the forearm, but I think the overall package is worth it. Once that's said and done, it's just loosening a couple of screws right here on the arm to change the batteries out, and loosening a couple of screws in the head to change that out, and it's Bob's your uncle. So that's about going to do it for the SL-63. I'm going to put the link down inside of the description there if you decided to want to do this. They ship pretty quick. It wasn't supposed to be here for another week, and it came in here a couple days ago, and I'm so glad that I got brave and give Omega Supreme the glory he deserves. So then there's the teasers for the other video reviews coming up. Thanks again for watching. You guys have an excellent, safe week out there until all are one. I am so happy I did this. Be safe when you go to do it. Till all are one.